All right, good afternoon again, everyone. And thank you for joining the short feature presentation, which will be done by myself, Sanya, Research and Resource Assessment with the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, or the CRFM Secretariat, based out of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines office. We are headquartered in Belize. And my presentation will be quite brief, and it will focus on the chapter within the Caribbean Blue Economy book, National Governance chapter, which is chapter 8, one that I would have co-authored with um, Dr. Patrick McConey. So I'm going to now share that presentation, just a few slides. So bear with me as I pull the presentation up for you. Okay, and let's put that in presentation mode. I'm not too sure if you're able to see the presentation. I certainly am not on my end. I'm going to stop sharing and try that again. Okay, Miguel, you're saying you can see it now? Unfortunately, I am not able to see it on my end. Oh, not now. Okay. Gone again. This is interesting and unfortunate. Let's see. We just tested this, but technology as it stands. Um, all right, let's see. I'm getting some suggestions here. Share. All right. I am now having issues on my end. Let's see if I can resolve that quickly. If not, I'll just go ahead and speak to it, but it would have been nice to, have something else besides my face. All right, let's try this one more again. Can you at least see this part of the screen when it's like this? Because we may be able to just work like this. All right, let's go from here without any further delay. So just to give you a sense of what the book is about. So this is the Caribbean Blue Economy book. And this is a book that was published and edited in 2001, was edited by Peter Clegg, Professor Robin Mahone, Dr. Patrick McConey, and Dr. Hazel Oxenford. And this particular book covers perspectives on where the region stands in the global picture regarding the adoption of the concept of the blue economy. And it also examines key cross-cutting issues such as ecosystem services and climate change, topics that we would have touched on throughout the course of today's event. It also looks at governance at the national and regional level that could make or break the blue economy movement. And that is the area of focus that I will present to you based on the chapter 8 that I would have co-authored with Dr. Patrick McConey. The book does also go on to explore some of the main sectoral activities within the blue economy landscape, much of what we have been discussing again throughout the course of today's event. We have looked at tourism and fisheries and aquaculture, touched a bit on oil and gas, as well as shipping and transportation, as well as renewable energy, sustainable financing, and what have you, which was actually one of our last sessions there. So getting right into chapter 8. So in 2012 at the SID Rio Plus 20 conference in Brazil, that was where it really, the BE concept really took off in terms of the small island developing states, SIDS, really lobbying for this concept to come on board because we are basically big ocean states. And the successful implementation of the blue economy across small island developing states, specifically within the Caribbean region, will require national level ocean governance with sectorial integration across civil society, the public sector, and the private sector. Again, we've heard about, the importance of these levels of collaboration, this multi-sectoral approach when we're talking about the blue economy. And for over a decade, regional and sub-regional projects have been geared towards operationalizing these concepts. And we've heard about some of the success stories coming out of the operationalizing as we continue to build on this concept and realize the blue economy. So national intersectoral coordination mechanisms, or national intersectoral committees, or NICs for short, are the heart of good country level governance arrangements, but currently they're more in the theoretical, in more theoretically than in actual practice. So a blue economy approach has the potential to be truly transformative, tipping the levels of interest and effort towards more comprehensive and sustainable national governance arrangements. And the blue economy is likely to be, of course, everybody's business, given the many interdependencies that is typifying of SIDS, especially again within the Caribbean region, where we have a very integrated as well as complex governance of so many states across, across jurisdictions, our EEZs, it's very transboundary in that sense. So it's very dynamic and it's very, how do I put it, dynamic, as well as the fact that, we deal with a lot of transnational, transboundary type issues when it comes to our ocean space. So with the blue economy, it may require a bottom-up approach from the individual through households, to enterprises, through our communities and districts, all the way up to the national level. So it's moving from more of a business as usual towards socio-economic development that is well aligned with ocean and coastal environmental health in the Caribbean. Multi-stakeholder, multi-sector coordination is therefore critical to achieving governance effectiveness, and NICs are now being inserted into the heart of the design of some ocean governance arrangements, such as National Ocean Governance Committees. However, such arrangements typically are the exception versus the norm. Many countries throughout the region still lack governance arrangements that are dedicated specifically to the ocean. And supporting and strengthening the establishment of NICs is a crucial early action that is needed to establish good and effective national and regional ocean and marine governance to support emerging blue economy initiatives. So in closing, or in conclusion, developing both good and effective governance at the national level is fundamental to our progress here in the region. For the purpose of blue economy advancement, relevant marine NICs may include things such as the fisheries advisory committees, of which we do have a few that exist within the region. For instance, there's a FAC in our FAC in Guyana, there's one in Barbados, and there was one established a few years ago in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There's also Ocean Governance Committees, or OGCs, and these OGCs, there has been projects in the past that have supported these through the OECS Caribbean Regional Oceanscape Project. There's also, coastal management institutions, climate change committees, just to give you a sense of what an ocean-based sort of NIC would look like or could look like. There's research that is ongoing and has been conducted, one being what I just mentioned, the OECS Caribbean Regional Oceanscape Project. There has been work done through CERMES, UE CERMES, work that I have done on my PhD research and continue to do. And NICs have been supported and are continued to be supported under current projects such as the Pro-Caribe project, and we heard earlier from Dr. Boudreau about the BCLMA Plus project, which is being implemented by the CRFM Secretariat. Well, I believe that does end my presentation, and I have just about a minute or so to entertain any questions, thoughts that anyone would want to share. All right. But I will use my minute to just share that there is a lot of work that is being supported through our regional projects that are supporting the establishment or the strengthening of NICS. Because as you know, at the national level is where you really have the policy and enforcement and implementation of those policies. So if you don't have that movement or you don't have that cooperation at the regional level, it certainly makes it more difficult to, at the national level, it certainly makes it more difficult to do things at the regional level. So to have those NICs in place would be critical, especially within the blue economy landscape. And certainly the presentation can be shared. So again, thank you for your time, and do note that this next session is a networking session for 45 minutes where you can network with our exhibitors and our other presenters within this particular time period of virtual networking. Again, if you need to access the virtual booth, you just click on the tab across that says Expo, and you'll be able to enter. If you don't see the Expo or the word Expo on the tab above, there should be 3 dots that you can click on, and then it will take you to the series of options, which should include Expo. So do enjoy this next 45 minutes of networking. Make the most of it. It's an opportunity for you to share ideas, share contact information, and make some of those necessary linkages to build cooperation as we continue to advance into the blue economy for our region. Thank you, and I'll see you at the next session, which will be thematic panel 4.